All right, welcome into another edition of the 2023 MLB Draft Show. Tonight, I'm joined by Servite's own, Whittier, California's own shortstop, Roman Martin. Roman, one of the top shortstops in the country, my man. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. How you doing?
Good. How are you? It's great to be here. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have you, man. Pumped to have you on the show. I like to open this thing up by just giving you the chance to introduce yourself. You're actually the first high schooler that we've had on the show this cycle. So why don't you kind of introduce yourself, tell folks a little bit about Roman Martin on the field, and then a little bit about what you like to do to killing time off the field.
So on the field, I'm a shortstop. I can play. Well, my main position is shortstop, but I can play second base. I can play third base. I'm pretty versatile. In the box, I'm a gap to gap guy. I'm not a huge power guy, but so kind of a typical shortstop, I guess. And then off the field, I would say to kill time. One of the main things I like to do is it's kind of where I like to draw or do Legos. Yeah, those are kind of my hobbies.
So what's your draw style? We just had Rhett Lauder on the show. He's a right-handed pitcher at Wake Forest. He's really into oil painting. What's kind of your style when it comes to drawing? What do you like to draw? Do you have a specialty?
To be honest, no. I mean, like I just get the pencil and I'll just draw anything. Like even during class, if we ever have downtime, I'll just pick something in the room and I'll just sketch it. So I guess sketch, yeah.
Well, talk about your upbringing through the shortstop position, because you're a hell of a defender and the bat is really starting to come along. You've had a big summer. Have you always played shortstop? Is it somewhere where you see yourself long term? Like, how much pride do you take in playing that position?
Well, to be honest, third base was always my main position. It wasn't until high school where I started playing shortstop. It was actually freshman tryouts. Everyone was trying out at short. They would hit you like 3 ground balls. So I went there, and then my high school coach ended up just sticking me there. I'm not sure why, but then I just ended up taking more reps at short, and it just kind of felt like the best fit on the field for myself. And then for the rest is history. I fell in love with the position. Now it's just my main position. Yeah.
So it sounds like it's not a position you played your whole life. Is it a position that you see yourself, no matter what, sticking at moving forward? Or are you just kind of one of those guys that is good clay? You can play anywhere, wherever the coach needs you.
Yeah, that's how I love to view myself. I mean, wherever you go, there's always going to be bigger fish. So I think it's great having different positions under your belt. I mean, my dad was a third baseman, so he knows a lot about that position. So that's kind of why I started there. But no, it's great. I mean, just being athletic enough to be able to move either way, either at short or at second. Because I mean, at the end of the day, it is kind of different. But I mean, in the future, whatever's going to get me in the lineup is where I'm going to play. So definitely wherever.
Well, let's talk about the lineup a little bit, because you've had a big summer with the bat. I mean, you're really starting to show more power than you'd showed in the past. That raw power in game is starting to come along. Is it something that, Roman, you've been focusing on, or is it something that you've just kind of aged into? Or I guess a better way of putting this would be, throughout your development, has it been a point of emphasis?
Not really. I mean, the weight room obviously it's kind of a necessity, but I'm not really training to get power in game. It's just kind of making the game easier as a whole. I mean, the stronger you are, the easier the game becomes in all facets. But I think, I think first for me was becoming a good hitter, being able to hit backside line drives, move runners over. That stuff came first, and then I guess just the power will come naturally, as you get bigger, as you get stronger. But no, definitely just becoming a great hitter was my main focus at first.
Can we let's talk a little bit about your summer, because I keep referencing it, but PG National and San Diego and Kansas City and PG All America. I mean, you've made all these different stops. Has there been a highlight for you? Has something left a lasting memory for you over the last few months?
man, I mean, yeah, for sure. It's kind of tough. I mean, I really like PG National. That or the All American game. Sorry, in Arizona. I think the kind of thing that kind of separated it was kind of the things we did to give back. It was really cool being able to fundraise for the Make a Wish, and then being able to go visit a school in Arizona uh, for refugees for young kids. Which kind of just made the whole thing, bigger than baseball. I mean, baseball is always fun to play, especially on the bigger stage. But I think when you add in a little bit of giving back, I mean, it just kind of elevates it for sure.
Bigger than baseball. I love that. And another guy that loves that, John Savage, UCLA. Obviously, I mean, you've been with UCLA now for a while, or committed to UCLA now for a while. What was it about the Bruins that kind of pulled you in? Is it has it always been your dream school? I mean, your backdrop sure makes it look like you've been committed since you were 9.
Right. Um, it hasn't always been my dream school. I mean, it's been my mom's dream school. She's always been a huge Bruin fan. But no, I mean, as soon as I started talking to Coach Ward and Coach Savage, it was pretty easy to see to differentiate it from other schools I was talking to. I mean, first of all, the location. Um, it's gonna be fairly close home games. So having my parents at the games is gonna be a big thing. Also, the education. UCLA has a very great education system, and that's huge for both my parents and myself. And then also the coaching staff and the baseball development side. They have, I think, just in the last week they've had, I think, 4 or 5 big leaguers called up. So I mean, just knowing that it's gonna be setting me up for, it's gonna be putting me on the best path to make it to the major leagues. It just kind of brings it full circle, and that's kind of why I chose it.
How about you? You spoke on education. I like asking this question. What do you want to study? What are you interested in at this stage?
So I think I haven't. I mean, I probably should put more thought into it, but not as much as I want to. But probably kinesiology,
Oh,
um,
cool.
sports med, just kind of knowing more about my body, um, and how it functions. Yeah, I think it'll become in handy as an athlete, knowing if I ever tweak something, mm, being able to know kind of a little bit or have a little bit of background on what's happening, um, and incorporate it to my game any way possible. Yeah.
I like that. A lot of people don't, especially your age. A lot of people don't know the difference between like being actually injured and just being sore. And yeah, I mean, being able to dive into that would be big. But speaking of kinesiology, speaking of the way that the body moves, PG National, you got to experience blast motion. You kind of got to get yourself hooked up on more tech, kind of torque and your swing speed and things like that. Do you incorporate tech at all in your development at this stage, or are you still 100% feel?
Honestly, yeah, I'm still feel. I mean, we did get a couple cool things. We got a Mark Pro.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
it was like the shock therapy thing. I recently started using that, and that's really helped. But I mean, besides that, I don't really care about the other stuff. I mean, if it's working, it's working. Um, yeah.
I dig it. So what's next for you this fall, this winter? You've got, you're in California. You've got 5, 6 months before the spring. I know that, Jupiter's coming up. I don't know if you're going to be in Jupiter, but that's kind of usually the final event of the summer.
Right.
What's next for you? What do you plan on doing over the next half year to get ready for the spring season? Any pillars in your development?
Are you talking about like what I'm trying to work on, or like actual?
Yeah, training, weight room, any part of your game that's an emphasis. Like where are you headed?
Yeah. Definitely the weight room. Weight room and speed. Those are like I said earlier. I mean, when you get stronger, all assets of the game become easier. And then speed. That's kind of the main tool I'm lacking. That I really want to improve. So speed, and just kind of obviously getting better at defense and offense. But yeah, definitely those two are going to be my emphasis.
Nice. All right, man. I'm going to keep you on your toes. We'll hit you with a couple rapid fire questions really quick and get you out of here. You have met every top prospect under the sun this summer for your draft class. And I got to know, man, who is the worst dresser?
The worst dresser?
Uh-huh.
Man, worst dresser. I think it's got to be. Well, I've known him for a while, but I have you. He's a catcher out of Santa Margarita. His name is Blake Balls.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of just goes with like the like the short the athletic wear type thing. Anywhere we go, it's just kind of like a plain fit. And we're cool like that, so I can call him out, but like he needs to work on that for sure.
All right, next question. If you had to ask one other player for advice at the plate against another pitcher, who's the guy you're going to asking for advice?
One player. Ooh. Probably I gotta go. I mean, the GOAT. I mean, Mike Trout. I was talking to I think it was Tim Salmon earlier when I did kind of like a little segment with Angels
Mhm.
Weekly, and I was talking to him about just kind of like Trout's knowledge of the game and how early he figured out how to not only dominate the major leagues but stay in it, and just some of the things that he was saying that he figured out and that he does in between pitches, just knowing different situations of the game and just certain things that like the average person wouldn't know. I mean, it's insane. So I mean, definitely pick his brain would be huge, huge blessing. Yeah.
I dig it. You can't go wrong with Mike Trout. All right,
Yeah.
last question. We finished with this question every single time. What is the one random weird fact about anything that you know that not a lot of people know?
About myself?
About anything. I mean, we've learned about Pringles, we've learned about fishing, we've learned about a million things on this show.
Huh. Weird fact. I'm not really a big fat guy. Um, I mean, I can tell you something about myself.
Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm actually the fourth Roman in my family, so I'm Roman the fourth, and I plan to keep that going. So
Really? You are Roman Martin the Fourth.
yeah, I am.
There's something there's some sort of simpatico with someone named Roman and having a Roman numeral at the end of their name. No?
Yeah, no, yeah, it is. Yeah, I never thought about that. That's true.
It brings balance to the world. Roman Martin, Servite High School, one of the next big stars in Major League Baseball. Could be at UCLA as well in 2024. Roman, thank you so much for joining the show, man. Excited to see where this fall and next spring take you, and excited to cover you along the way.
Thank you. It was great. It was great being here for sure.